Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second ever episode of Bored and Annoyed, or excuse me, Downright Annoyed with Comics. I am here with my co-host, Downright Nerdy Podcast here, Michael, and Comic Man Andy was, gracious enough to show his face on our channel again. And I'm hoping he'll be around when we talk about other comic book crap outside of Saga. But again, we are here to discuss Saga, the whacked out, crazy indie comic series that apparently is coming back, hopefully at some point this year. I'll send it around the horn. Michael, if you want to give your little intro.
Cool. Yeah. Everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Michael from the Downright Nerdy Podcast. I appreciate you guys all coming on. Saga is quickly becoming my favorite comic book series of all time. I cannot wait to talk to you guys about it. Today, we're going to be talking about volumes 4 through 6. Hopefully by the time we get to 7 through 9, they'll announce when Saga comes back. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
I have a feeling that's not going to happen before we finish because we're reading this too quickly.
Yeah, I think so too.
But Andy.
Hey, I'm ComicManAndy. You can find me at my own channel, ComicManAndy on YouTube. I'm on Instagram, ComicManAndy. I'm also a host with Pinky's Out Podcast. Look us up on all your favorite podcasting devices. You can find us there where we drink beers and talk adult content. And you guys can definitely find me on the Comic Core Monday Nights Modern Men, where we discuss weekly reads.
What are you discussing this week?
Oh, we're doing I Hate Fairyland. Which is
so
actually hilarious.
Make sure you.
Is it really? I bought that. Okay, I have to check that out.
Make sure you go check that out. Again, I'm Jackson with Bored and Annoyed. BoredandAnnoyed.com. You can find all of our episodes, where to listen to us. We're a movie podcast, so I'm kind of venturing out into uncharted territory here, talking about comic books, but that's fine. I guess. Let's talk about this second third of what exists of Saga. We're 2/3 of the way through the existing content right now. Michael, did you like it?
Yeah, it's all right. No, it was very good. I really enjoyed it a lot. With each turn of the page, I think to myself, it can't get any better, and it does. It just keeps on going. For most comic book series that I've ever read, it's always a roller coaster with either the common theme, it's just going up or going down. But this is just a steady incline. It's good comic book cardio for my head.
And I'm going to skip Andy since we know what he thinks of it. I was pretty let down by the second third. I thought it was boring. The art got worse. The characters suck. My favorite character's fat now.
Will?
I think I might just turn this over to you, actually, Michael, and just let you host the next one. Just you and Andy can talk about it.
Is it that bad for you now?
Oh, it's.
I remember when you texted me and you were extremely disappointed. I mean, like, you liked the big TV head, but then after that, it just went down for you.
That was the peak. I wanted him to be on every page for the rest of the book, and he wasn't. So, no, I'm just kidding. It's great. I don't like it a lot.
You had me going.
I don't agree that it's necessarily better than the first third. Yes, that's just fantastic. I don't agree that it's necessarily that much better than the first third, though. Like, I don't feel like it's getting way better. But it is consistently good. So as good as it is, that's just a feat in and of itself.
So I think that the second third, I would almost agree with you that it's maybe not better, but it continues their storyline that makes it continuously interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was hard to read though, because I'm emotionally attached to these characters, and having them all split up is bothering me. But that's not a sign of it being bad. It just bothers me because I don't like it. I don't like how they're not together. It's like, it reminds me of reading A Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones, and it's like, God damn, you just want them all. They're all over Westeros, and you just want that moment when Arya finds her family, and it's brutal, to read and know that they're not going to find each other for a while. But yeah, the ending gave me hope as far as where the next section's going to be. But Andy, what's your, I mean, what do you have to say about this third of this existing story?
I'm with you. It's a bit heartbreaking as a father to have my child stripped from me, and then as a reader, we're sitting here reading, and she's what, 2-3 years older all of a sudden.
Yeah, there's a time jump for sure.
So to sit in the tension in me is just to not see your child, and then all of a sudden when you do get to see your child and they're 2-3 years older, and you missed out on that on all of that. And you think about that, it's like I couldn't imagine missing out on my child's next 3 years or something like that. That's just really rough. This story arc for me, I sum it up in one short phrase. This story arc for me really points to how fleeting life is. You asked a question last show about the first 3 books about, does anybody die? Hopefully your question's answered in this arc, in this 3-book, because not only do people die, but it's very fleeting. They're here one moment, gone the next. And the characters, some tend to struggle and some just cut and move on, but it's the world still turns and this universe still turns, but those people are gone. So that seems very, that kind of brings it to home, the message, how fleeting life is.
Yeah, I would agree. It does, because everything that happens in this book, it's like within 3 pages, the characters don't have time to deal with it. They're on to the next thing. But yeah, Michael, sorry, you were going to say something?
No, that's fine. I enjoyed the while it was annoying, or not annoyingly, but it was troubling to me that they were all like split up, right? Just like we talked about a second ago. But I really liked how they were split up. Like they were just the personalities that were forced to be put together in order to survive or complete their mission. It was the interaction was very interesting to me. Andy, going back to what you were saying about the fatherhood aspect of this and not being able to see your child for that long, when they finally did reunite in this, that was one. I mean, we showed a couple of our favorite panels. That was actually my favorite part of this third, was when they finally came back together and she gave him that big hug.
That was incredibly rewarding. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's really hard to sum up in words. I'm with Jackson a little bit. It's like, was it better? Marginally. It doesn't blow you out of the water, but it delivers. You lose some people that you're attached to in the story, and they take some turns that are very unexpected. Like Marco and Alana in that first fight, and he throws the bag of groceries at her.
Yeah.
And she just like you're done. Get off this world.
Right.
Doesn't happen.
Well, she's all out of her mind, though.
Yeah, and then so she ends up becoming a drug addict, essentially.
Right.
They deal with drug addiction. Actually, they both do to some extent. And it's kind of tough to watch and read.
Yeah,
honestly, it is,
because you're at this point you're already attached to the characters. So I'm assuming these come out once a month, right? So it's like we packed the first 18 would have been a year and a half worth of books, correct? The first thing we talked about. So, I mean, it's like you're reading it and you're like, wow, how am I so attached to these characters? But it's like, okay, it was designed to be stretched out and it still works even when you read it all at once. So yeah. I think that's kind of incredible. I do want to talk about side characters that we kind of deal more with. Maybe they're not such side characters anymore. Prince Robot the Fourth is awesome now. I love that guy. He is a scumbag and I love him. And I kind of feel bad for his character. And then what's the name of the other robot that blames the kingdom for his child being killed?
Dengo.
Yep. And I like Dengo too. And I love how quickly they just dispatch with Dengo when Robot shows up. Oh, that's nice. Done.
Yeah.
You know,
but that's just as quickly as he dispatched his wife.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
At the beginning of book 4, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I love the fact that King Robot is an HD TV, a flat screen. It just makes so much sense to me. But the other characters, like, you know, the part, if there was one thing happening in this that I didn't care for, that kind of left me wanting, was the Gwendolyn, Sophie, the Will's sister crew going to, you know, get the dragon semen from the dragon that's blowing itself on that one page.
God.
But yeah, that part was kind of a slog for me. I just don't care very much about any of those characters. Like, to me, like, I care about Sophie, but that was when the Will was involved. You know, the fact that he's not there. I just did, like, the sister dying did nothing for me, you know. So I don't know. That would be my gripe, I guess.
I don't think that was the point for the sister to do anything for the reader. I think that was just to see. That was just another addition to the Will's story.
Sure.
Right.
But the fact that he's not there, I'm not nearly as engaged. So that's a big chunk. That's a big chunk of the book that I'm reading, and I'm not nearly as engaged. I'm wanting to go back to the other stuff that's happening, right?
But I think that could also be, this is the whole point of that storyline is for her to die so that he can be depressed and get fat and you know, go to that place in his life where he just doesn't care anymore.
Well, you notice he becomes a drug addict as well.
Yeah.
I think I don't know how they pronounce it, but it looks like it's spelled heroin. And in that universe, that drug brings back his ghosts, his demons, his loved ones, his first loves come back to him in his mind, and like they're right there and he's talking to him. So
that was cool. The stalk stuff.
Yeah.
And I am excited to see, by the way, Andy, I'm a little upset with you, I have to say, because you told me that just wait until you see what happens with the Will moving forward. So I'm like, oh man, I can't wait. And then I didn't get to the Will for like 12 issues.
You will be rewarded, sir.
Now well, so far I like it. I like that he's a fat slob asshole now. I somehow lost where Lying Cat is. Is Lying Cat with Gwendolyn and Sophie? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So
which still bothers me. In this part of the arc, I am bothered by that tremendously.
Well, do we know why Lying Cat's
not the way they got split up? Because he was laying in the hospital bed after what's her face stabbed him.
And he got pissed, right?
Sophie stabbed him, and he was. So when they're out on that adventure, getting the dragon semen to revive him or bring him back, is when Lying Cat, Gwendolyn, and Sophie all take off, and then they never reconnect.
But then how did he end up with the dog?
His sister died.
Yeah, there's nobody else to watch the dog,
and all her belongings were shipped back to him.
Right. See, they went to visit him in the hospital and they told him that she died, and he threw a shit fit and got pissed and sent them away, but the dog stayed. I think that's what happened.
Stay too.
Nope, the cat didn't.
He's mad at the cat. He's mad at Lying Cat.
If you read deeper into the arc, Lying Cat and Sophie kind of bond.
Okay.
They have a bit of a bonding where they kind of play off of each other a little bit more, and they kind of really become entangled together as far as friends.
But yeah, that plot line was the only part of this that didn't really resonate with me. I love all of the Prince Robot stuff. I love our main character in the camp, the school with the teacher. I thought that was great. There's a trans character in this, which I thought was kind of fun. It was kind of a funny little.
This lady right here, right?
Yep, right.
The way they deliver it is not subtle by any means either.
No, there's no lack, or there's a lack of subtlety overall in the book.
True, yeah. There's a lot of pornography in this series.
Yes, but it's great. I am loving this. Again, I'm just dying to see this made into a movie or a show. I just feel like it is ripe with crap to do. So I'm pumped.
Well, if you want to talk about side characters a little bit, let's talk about the reporter and the photographer. My two favorite characters in this arc are the two gentlemen. I believe they're married. If they're not married, they're dating and living together. These two guys get all gumshoey and get all Scooby Gang and figure everything out. And I really like that part of the story arc.
Well, yeah, that was another thing that came out of the Will's sister dying, is that now they're free from whatever spell was put on them to stop them from reporting on this story. Yep. And that's another thing that it kind of brings up, is like, at what point is journalism like something that does well for the world versus just scandalous, National Enquirer type shit. Well, that's what those characters kind of get you into that concept, right? So I like that too.
Yeah, but they have heart too.
Right. Well, that's what but that's what you're asking yourself as you're reading. Like, I agree with them too. I like them. But yeah, I think they're awesome. They're fun. There is a scene when they're having a really serious conversation, as one of the guys is, they're having a sex scene basically. Yeah. And like the whole book just makes me laugh at all that
in a seedy motel while they're traveling, but they're having a serious conversation while they're having intercourse. And I'm like, okay, I guess I didn't ever think that would happen like that.
I feel like I can just see the meetings going on between these two writing this. Like, okay, we need to have this exposition. What should we put on the page? Oh, let's just have them banging in a cheap motel room. Okay, like that's entertaining. That's just what I picture when they're having their little sessions discussing what to do here. But
yes,
Michael, did you take care of whatever it was that was? What happened there?
Yeah.
Sorry. Michael, who's your favorite character so far, by the way?
I still think it's Marco, or it's either going to be Marco or it's going to be his wife. One of those two. Those two are especially when they're separated. I like them both when they're separated. While they're so great while they're together, it's fun to see them try to make it without the other, because they feel like a what do they call it when two things are like supposed to be working together in concert, like almost like a
symbiotic relationship,
something like that. Yeah, I don't know,
synchronized or something
like that. But when they're apart, I think we see their characters really at their fullest potential, I think.
I love kind of piggybacking off of the conversation about them. I love the little bit where, what is the daughter's name? I keep forgetting her name. Why can't I feel like an idiot? What's her name? The narrator. Hazel. Yeah. When Hazel, she's got the like narration, she's telling you the story, and she talks about how like every relationship just either grows until you're always learning more about yourselves and the other person, and either you both die or the relationship ends, Mm-hmm. And I think that's interesting because it's so damn true. There's nothing, it's not like you lock and that's it. You know what I'm saying? There's always a give and take. There's conflict. You know what I mean? Nothing is perfect, and nothing's perfect in this book either, especially between those two. So yeah, I enjoy the shit out of their relationship. And I was happy at the end of the book. Well,
yeah, that's a hell of a cliffhanger to leave the end of that arc.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Well, hopefully in 6 months when I start reading it again.
Wait, no.
Oh, what's this chick's name? The floating apparition. What's her name again? Isabel?
Yes. Isabel. Yes.
I like
She's
her.
Awesome.
I like her a lot. There wasn't a lot of her in these volumes, but I do like her.
That was pretty ironic when they get kicked out into a world that doesn't have a nighttime and the sun never sets, so we don't see Isabel for like 12 to 16 issues.
Yeah.
I was surprised they didn't do more with that concept. It was like they almost let you forget about her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she popped back in. You're like, oh yeah, it's her, So
when did we first see her again? Is it at the prison?
I think it's when
prison, right?
Yeah, it's at the is it a prison or it's like a refugee camp, right?
We first see her come back on the freelancer ship, the Freedom Fighting Group, because they get to somewhere when they they get into outer space. She pops back up and she tells the Robot Kingdom guards not to kill the 3 girls.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
She turns into she morphs into Lizard Doctor on that landfall world. That's what it is. And she morphs into that Lizard Doctor, walks in and says, "Hey, these girls were basically concubines. They've been through hell and everything. Please leave them alone and leave them be." And essentially kind of saves them from being tortured or being killed or worse.
And I do want to pop this back up. Solo Wookiee, Doug. That's how you say the name. That's what is that?
Goose? I thought it was Goose.
Goose. Maybe that's it. Goose. Yeah.
Yeah,
there we go.
On top of the U, right?
Yep.
Yep. So I absolutely love that character, and I don't understand it at all because what the hell? Like all of a sudden, there's a little seal. There's a dwarf seal. It's a porg. Yeah, there you go. It's a porg. But yeah, I'm just like, what? What the hell? But I guess there's a gator doctor, and there's all these other animals. It's like the fact that they just are like, okay, we need another character. How about we just make a cute little seal?
You know what he reminded me of? He reminded me of that the character in Mandalorian that helps the Mando, that rides those.
Oh yeah,
what's his name?
Nick Nolte. Nick Nolte.
Yeah, Nick Nolte.
Yeah,
reminds me of Nick Nolte.
Actually, Nick Nolte this time around.
That's it. Yeah, that's
yeah, he's a little bit like that. But what a cute little funny character. Like I don't get it. But I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Heart of gold.
Right.
You do know that if this ever makes it into a movie, that thing is going to be made into a plush animal like crazy.
Well, they're not just going to make if this ever makes it to the big screen and they go movie, they're doing at least 3 to 6 movies. They have
That's why I think if it ever goes to that scene, it's going to go to a series, not a movie.
It would have to be a series. Yeah. This is the coolest thing coolest new media that I've engaged with in a long time, I would say. I mean, it is awesome. I'm super pumped to have something like this, around to read for, however much longer it's going. You know what I mean?
If you look at the end of the book, it says chapter 37 coming August 2016.
Oh God.
Yeah. So that identifies that it is monthly. That does come out monthly. Hopefully they hold that when they come back. But years. Let's just put this. I was hoping they were going to put another page in the back of the book 4, but they didn't. Doggone it! I was hoping for context. I'd be able to tell you the length of time between book 4 and 6. We'd have to look that up on short notice.
I'm assuming if I were to wait to read one of these again, that I would be waiting at least 2 to 3 years. That's my guess.
I wouldn't be shocked. I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on real quick and go for a hot 30, 60 seconds or something like that. Let's do some homework. Compare Hazel's handwriting in her narration now from the first 3 books. I think this is tinfoil. This is very tinfoil hatty of me right now. But I think her handwriting in the first 3 books is sloppier, like a younger child. And then I think her handwriting ages with her as she narrates this story.
That wouldn't make much sense narratively, though. Because I'm assuming she's like 60 wherever she's writing this.
You're right.
Through the whole thing.
Okay, so here's from book 1. Where is it? Right here.
It was a random out there idea, and it sounded good in my head, and at least I shared it.
Well, I'm here to destroy your ideas,
and I'm here to watch you destroy them.
Right there, you go. Perfect. But so
you know what? Though, Jackson, real quick, you're super excited about Saga. That's all, and I'm right there with you. But what sucks is that you're like coming into this like comic bookish kind of world, and the bar is set so high right now.
Right. Yeah, no, you guys are screwed.
All you got to do is watch Modern Men every week, and you'll get reads like this every week.
That's true. Well, you know what happened to me this week? Andy, I talked Michael into reading All-Star Superman, and I got all pumped, and I started to read it again. And then he's like, "No, let's do Saga next again." So,
well, I can read this. If you want me to read it, I'll read it. I bought it.
Yeah, why don't you read it out loud for us? We'll go the
all
next 6 hours.
No problem. I got you. Got nothing else to do.
But We read that about a month ago on Modern Men, maybe 2 months ago.
Did you finish it, Andy? I know you guys did the first 6 issues, but you finished it, I'm assuming.
I did not make time to finish it yet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's my bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's fine. It's just the best, but that's fine.
I mean, we'll see what happens over the next 30 days, considering with the climate in this country. But I've got about 4 or 5 weeks worth of reads stacked up behind me, and I've got possibly nothing but time.
It's crazy, man. This whole thing is crazy. Now, will they work a contagion into the next 6 to 12 issues of Saga?
I don't see why not.
Great question.
I guess, okay, here's a question, Andy. You were reading this as they were being released, I'm assuming? No, not at all. None of them?
We found Saga in 2017.
Oh, wow. Okay, because that would interest me to see if there's any correlation between current world events and what is being put in the issues as they're coming out.
That's a great idea.
I mean, that'll be something to kind of note as we move forward. I would assume that there is, but yeah, that's good too. Solo Wookie. I liked that too.
Moving forward, are we going to be doing just once a month show just on each issue that comes out?
I mean, we could.
Yeah.
Even if it's like 10 to 15 minutes long, because an issue is pretty small, but
that's not a bad idea. You think about it, we've got one more long episode in us until we get caught up with the story and the series. And then at that point, it'd be once a month per issue if they don't have any other delays.
Andy, any updates from 2 weeks ago as to when this is coming back out? No.
The community has still not heard any confirmed or seen any hard evidence on an actual release date, and it doesn't look like they're on any of the solicitations yet.
Oh, man, there's a few things right now in the movie/video game world that it's like, come on, I need a release date.
Drew was, I think I asked him about it on, he was on a show with Kat Wren recently. And I asked, I don't know if it was him that answered, but somebody answered in the chat saying like, oh, I bet it's going to be announced at San Diego Comic-Con, which wouldn't be until July. Could be a possibility just because it's such a big convention.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they announce at San Diego Comic-Con last year that they were definitely coming back in 2020, or was that a different convention? It was. I feel like it was a large California convention where they announced that Saga was definitely coming back for 2020, but didn't say when in the year.
I'm not the person to ask. I'm not sure.
If they don't give a date, it's usually bullshit on all these things. It's like you can't believe a damn thing anybody tells you.
My heart doesn't want to believe you.
A trailer of some sort, right?
The realist in me is nodding my head with you. Yeah.
Well, George R.R. Martin said the 6th book in A Song of Ice and Fire was coming out in like 2017. So guy just needs to sit at his damn typewriter. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We've touched on quite a few things from this. Predictions, Michael. Where's the story going in the next?
I think we're going to see a couple of major deaths in the next years. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why. Because everything's been so unexpected that everything that I expect happen doesn't happen. Everything that's unexpected happens. So, I think somebody's going to die.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. She is pregnant again.
That's
which
right.
Is another wrinkle here.
Does this kid survive? Maybe this kid dies.
That's my question too.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if the kid dies and they have to deal with that as a family or just as a couple. Maybe the kid dies with one of the parents. I don't know.
Oh God, you think they're gonna kill off one of those two?
I don't know. But you see, they're on the covers though, so I don't think that's gonna happen.
If they kill off one of those two, I will love this book with a passion, because that would take some serious balls to do that. Andy's covering his here. Hold on, I'll mute you. I'll mute you. I don't know if that was his. I don't know if that was a natural choking on his drink or something I said made him do it. But no, okay, yeah. I hope, because right now where does it leave off as far as the ending is concerned? They've just gotten Hazel back, so it's the end of like an arc. But what is the next threat to them that they have? Is it still just avoiding being captured because they're doing something that's, looked down upon? What else was happening? Can you remind me, either of you?
Well, the will is back, right?
That's right. Okay.
The will is back with a vengeance, and he is a fairly different character from what he was at the beginning of the story.
Yeah, and he's after Prince Robot for killing who did Prince Robot kill again?
The Stalk.
The Stalk. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's that's right. And the Stalk he's having visions of, and she's trying to get him to do everything wrong that can be imaginable throughout the rest of the story, as far as we know now.
And don't forget about the political climate in the war. It's played a back seat. It could play a little bit more forward of a seat from here on out.
I see what you're doing.
You can't have predictions to something you've already read, bro.
I see what you're doing. I think
I'm excited for this dynamic of this crew right here, because you get everybody here, right? And you get the Prince dude right here. You got this lady right here who I really like. And then you obviously you got Marco and Alana here together. I think that's going to be a fun. I don't know if you heard me, and my mic wasn't by me, but
I heard you.
It's going to be a fun dynamic to see them all interact with each other.
I don't know how much I trust the newcomer, the trans character. I haven't decided if I like her or not.
Also, Marco's mother is still on that.
Yes, she stayed. Yep,
that's where life is fleeting. She decided to stay and not be a part of their family from that point on in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully she comes back, because that's kind of one of those dynamics. They already lost one grandparent. Did they just lose another?
Yeah.
Rhetorical question.
You just did the next time on Saga.
They
lost one grandparent.
About earlier, the daddy one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That panel and that part of the story did bring me to tears the first time I read it.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. The time jump kills me. And the fat Will, man.
The fat Will does
off. Oh, it's great.
You're talking one of the best freelancers in the universe, and what does he do? Becomes a fat drug addict that just kind of bounces around here and there, and he loses his fingers.
So that's an interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting. And now, Solo Wookiee, if you've read this, stop it. But you do bring up a good point. The fact that those robots clearly have skin in the game in this. And what are they going to do? It seems as if they exist to keep this conflict in place. Right. I don't. It doesn't seem like we haven't learned much about their culture so much, Yeah. So I would be interested. I want to go there for a bit.
Yes.
First of all, I would love to go there and just see what the hell are these things? Also, I forget his name, but the winged dude who is in he's the Chancellor Palpatine character who seems to be
Gabriel. I think
is that his name?
I think.
But yeah, I want to know more about that dude too.
Isn't he dead?
CIA Black Ops.
Did he die? I didn't think he died.
You're talking the guy that's buzzing around in everybody's ear about he's playing both sides, and
yes,
I think it was I think his name was Gabriel,
but he's still alive.
Yeah, I thought he was.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm thinking of somebody else.
Because he's the one who basically kind of put Prince Robot the Fourth in his place,
right,
in a scene in the first third of the story. And you're really having trouble over there, Michael. You all right?
I throw this thing across the room right now.
That's what for, man. Protection.
So at some point I'm guessing we go to learning more about his role and what he is. I don't really understand his end game necessarily. I get that he's a politician who kind of wants to keep this thing going, because I believe he tried to shut up the two reporter characters as well. They went to talk to him in the first third of the story as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they talked on a rooftop of of a building. Yeah, and he tried to shut him up.
Right, and right now they're free now, right? Because the Will found Gus or Goose or whatever the hell his name is, and kind of just let those two reporters go, right?
Well,
they escaped.
That's part of that story where they're stuck with the Will. He's like, honey, I'm just gonna try this. If this is gonna work, it's gonna work. If it's not, we're gonna die, because Will's sister is gone, so the spell should be broken. And sure enough, blink, blink, there they are, still living, and nothing happened.
Right, but he like kidnapped them.
Yes.
And then when he went to the planet where Gus is and he lost his fingers, or was it before that the two reporters were like, "Oh, he's going to notice we're gone." And I think that's where we left off with them.
Yeah, they're still on the planet.
So they're stuck on the world where that writer lived, where his lighthouse burnt down.
Yep.
They're essentially stuck there. But man, love those two guys. They're like we're stuck here, and then he looks, he's like, but we're alive. Case in point, like that's where that life is fleeting. Those moments are fleeting, and then they realize they're alive. They don't care that they're stuck there anymore. At least one of them's convincing the other that it doesn't matter that they're stuck there. The Will's gone. They can figure things out from there. They're alive, and that's it.
It's kind of like how we're all stuck in our homes right now, but at least we're not, projectile vomiting and coughing up our lungs.
Could you imagine Amazon sales of USB cameras spiking dramatically?
Yeah, right.
It's probably
I was joking around with John's Comics with Kids, just talking about how LCS might start closing down for a little bit, and I was thinking, hey, Comixology and Marvel Unlimited is going to get a spike in subscriptions for the next couple of weeks.
My hometown LCS did cancel all of their events and adjust their hours, but they're remaining open for every day still.
It's crazy, man.
I don't know why everybody's so worried about toilet paper. All they got to do is just crochet themselves a roll.
Oh, Jesus.
So I got the Cottonelle.
I came home to a whole homemade crocheted roll of TP. Hon, why didn't you use brown yarn again? It would have been easier.
Hold on, that's legit. That's not okay. Well, you'll have to update us on how that worked out.
No, that's a prop. It's totally a prop.
No, I think you should use it. You're gonna have to use it, man.
Yeah, you have to use it eventually, buddy.
Right. It's gonna happen, dude. It's gone. The TP is gone.
The worst part is Thursday last week, we were legitimately down to the last roll, and it's like, oh God, now I gotta be one of those people. I'm legitimately down to the last roll because we go to the grocery store weekly. So
no, you just gotta hop in the shower, wash your ass. You know what I mean? That's why the toilet paper things drive. I don't understand it.
Detachable shower head, just
bidet.
There you go. Yeah.
Bidet. Toilet paper's only been around 150 years, 160 years. Wash rags have been a thing for a long time for a reason.
Oh yeah. Now we're getting off topic. Anything else about Saga before we wrap up? Michael.
No, I'm just enjoying it, enjoying the ride. I'm the next episode will be bittersweet because it's the end for a while. But I'm excited for it.
Well, let's wedge All-Star Superman in between.
That's a good idea.
That episode. Let's read that, and then we'll hop back on Saga. So we can draw it. But it is tough. That is something that it's happened to me before where it's like, oh, there's this thing that's been out for a long time. TV shows. I remember when 24 was on. I know we do. I remember when 24 was on, I started watching right before the 5th season came out, or like months before it came out. And I watched the first 4 in like 2 weeks or whatever. I just blew through it, and then I'm like, shit, what do I do now?
There was a time where I ended up, and I'm not saying that I'm going to do this for Saga, but there was a time where I would wait till the end of the season, the new season of 24, before watching it because I couldn't stand commercials, and 2, I just wanted to binge it. Right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I would wait. I literally wouldn't watch it until the end of the season. Somehow was able to avoid spoilers, and it was much better. It was a much better experience, but. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to do that with Saga, especially if it comes out once a month. We're just
gonna have to do it. We're just gonna have to read it every month. But
yeah,
The only thing I worry about the once a month thing is that I'd have to like reread the issue before just to remember what happens.
you're going to have to read every issue 2 times.
Yeah,
I thought
right.
about that too.
we literally just read what 24 issues in 2 weeks. I don't think you'll have a problem reading 2 comic books in 4 weeks.
Yeah, very true.
It's different though. I'm going to be like, man, I got to read
Exactly.
these 15 pages again. Son
Yeah.
of a bitch. I'm all pumped to open the next one, you know? I'm interested in that experience because I think I said last week, I've never done anything like that before. So I'm intrigued as to whether or not it's frustrating or actually like a fun experience. Cause I can imagine it going either way.
Because when you think about it, each little issue it's just a small part of a big arc, right? So sometimes like I could see myself getting like almost irritated, like I want more.
Well, and aren't there going to be issues that are kind of just like filler issues where you're like, fuck, like that was a waste.
I
think the reason why they've taken this long of a break and they're working this hard to come back is to prevent any sort of a filler arc or filler stories. I think they are legitimately working really hard because, to be honest with you guys, this first 6 trade paperbacks in this series, I didn't feel like any of them were filler at all. Personally,
true.
That's how I feel.
I don't know. I can't like give an honest assessment of that because even if it was filler, I was just turning to the next one. You know what I mean? I didn't really have time to like read one chapter. They're called chapters in my books and really ruminate on that one chapter. You know what I'm saying? Because I just read through the whole goddamn thing like I was reading a novel. You know,
and that's the thing about trades. It's like the Netflix version for comic books. It's just binging, right?
Yeah,
and everything else is just essentially a syndicate show, syndicate or whatever it is. It's just it will be interesting to see what happens when it's monthly. If
they're like a Breaking Bad type show where it's like every episode is gold, then we're in for a treat. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be my comparison of that's a show where it was like every episode, whether it was, the one where he's just trying to swat the fly down in the meth lab in the basement, it was such a great show. So I'm hoping for that.
Miss Gil the coffee guy.
The waiting is going to piss you off.
What'd you say, Michael?
The waiting is going to piss you off. You got to wait a month between issues.
Yes,
month.
It's going to be tough,
but it's going to make every episode and every time we get together that much better, in my opinion.
Andy, who says you're invited back for that show?
Damn.
What was the question? I missed it.
I said, who says he's invited back for that?
Oh,
show?
wow.
Start doing that. I'll talk with Michael. We'll decide whether or not, we want to let you back on.
This show can only contain so much ugly, so I don't want you to go over your limits, right?
Oh. But no, that's
me.
Of course,
you guys aren't ugly. I'm ugly.
No. Well, no, because
I doubt that. You got that beautiful beard going, man.
I was just gonna say we bring it up to the line, and then it only takes a little bit more ugly to push it over.
I got a lot of it here, so.
But yeah. So hey, I don't know. Everybody want to say their goodbyes. Michael, you want to anything else to say about Saga? Plus, pitch your show.
Saga's great. Everybody, whenever it starts coming out, buy it, and that way it keeps going on and support the authors and artists. Mike Downright Nerdy Podcast. Find us on all your favorite podcasting apps and YouTube's, Twitter's, Instagrams, and www.downrightnerdy.com.
And Andy,
hey, you guys can find me on the Comic Core channel. Be sure to check them out. They're powered by the Hero Initiative. Every donation you make to the Comic Core goes directly to the Hero Initiative. Monday nights, Modern Men. I'm on there every Monday. You can find me at my own channel, ComicManAndy. You can find me at ComicManAndy on Instagram. Check out my YouTube channel. I've got a contest or a giveaway going on right now. Not really a contest. Very easy to enter. I got some cool books hopefully going on that everybody's looking for. Read Saga, support Brian K. Vaughan, support Fiona Staples. Hopefully Fiona Staples comes back stateside one of these days for a dual signing with Brian. So that would be great. More importantly, you can pull me off the big screen. I got one more thing to close it out with. Did you know they figured out how to tell the difference between, or how to tell the sex of an ant? Right? They get a cup of water, they put an ant in there. If it sinks, it's a girl ant. But if it floats, what is it, Jackson?
A boy ant.
Boy ant.
I get it. You son of a bitch. You're lucky I didn't go, no, what is it? Because I feel like that's probably what happens half the time with that
yes,
joke.
It's a good 50-50 on that one.
Yeah, I figured out, hey, I thought I knew the answer to one, so I would go ahead and go for it.
But that's my contest. Dad jokes. Go to my channel, check out the video. And all you have to do is put down a dad joke to enter, and you get entered in the drawing that ends at the end of this month in 2 weeks.
Somebody's sitting there like, damn, that was the one I was going to use.
Go ahead and use it. It's already been, that's where I got it from, is the comments.
I figured that much. I didn't think you were, between this week and last week, I didn't think you were just the master of dad jokes. I figured you're getting them from somewhere.
I'm like every other average dad, just regurgitating them.
By the way, the Hero Initiative, I after our episode last time, I actually switched my Amazon Smile donation to go to them. So they are on Amazon Smile. So if you want to give to them, go for it and change it. And then a little portion of every purchase goes to them. So
a little fun fact about the Hero Initiative as well. Riley's mom actually, she out of somewhere up in northern Michigan, the company that she was doing, they got to pick a donation for whatever it is that they're like fundraiser that they were having. And they did a huge one for the Hero Initiative too, just based on our recommendation, which was kind of really, really cool.
Sweet. Well, hey, thank you, everyone. I'm Jackson, boredandanoid.com. Andy is always welcome back. Solo. That was just a joke. When I said that, it was just a joke. Okay. But yeah, he is always welcome back. And yeah, we will see you next time. I believe we're going to do it on Michael's channel, our All-Star Superman conversation. Saga is going to stay here. Make sure you're subscribed to both. So whenever we put out stuff, you guys can come check it out. So, hey, thank you all for joining. And thank you, Michael and Andy, for being on.
Always a pleasure.
Definitely love it, man.